Hello and welcome to First Impressions, a video series where we look at various websites, give our initial reaction to them and see what we can learn. My name is Paul Boag and I am a user experience designer who's been working in the field for over 23 years. And in that time, I reviewed and looked at literally hundreds of websites looking to identify ways to improve them, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. Now, all of the websites you see in this series, I haven't really seen before. I've received them directly from the people at Balsamiq that are supporting this series, that suggest websites I should look at. I go and take a look and give my initial reaction. So here is a website that I only loaded up just a few seconds ago. It is SmartTrader.com. Now, before I say anything else, I just want to say one little thing about this website, which is it took a few seconds to load. It wasn't a quick website. And performance is such an underappreciated part of the user experience. As designers, we don't think very much about performance, and we say that that's the developer's job. And sure enough, it is, and that is an area they're responsible for. But design decisions, content decisions we make about our website have serious ramifications on performance. In this case, a video had to be loaded on the home page, and I suspect that that was having an impact on performance. Really, people are incredibly impatient these days, especially, I'm guessing, the kind of people that would use a website like this, who are financial people, they're busy, they're stressed, and that means their cognitive load is very high. In other words, they're going to have very little patience for a website that is slow to load. Talking about things that they're very likely to have little patience for, notice the pop-up notification that I've got. It's asking me whether I want to get notifications from SmartTrader.com. Now, we've looked at these kinds of notifications and pop-ups before on the season, and the response here is the same as it always is. Pick your moment. I'm not saying that potentially I might not want notifications from this website. In fact, I might do. I might want to get stock and trade updates is what I'm guessing it's going to give me, but I don't know yet. I've only literally just arrived on the website. So what am I going to do? I'm going to hit the block button. And now it's not going to ask me that again. So if we're going to have little calls to action like that, secondary calls to action like sign up for our newsletter, get notifications, follow us on Twitter, whatever it be, we need to make sure that users have had the chance to assess our sites before we ask them that kind of thing. So let's set that aside for a moment and carry on. So SmartTrader, a leading cloud-based chart and marketing trading software. Bit of a mouthful, but it does tell me exactly what they offer. Great start. Really happy with that. And it tells me what features I'm going to get. Also, the video kind of helps as well, playing in the background. It makes it clear that we're actually looking at a site that is about stocks and shares, and it's showing actual examples of their product, which is really great. But it's also showing me some of the context where I might be using it, where I can look up market trading on the go, out and about, in my office and even at home. So that's really great. Then underneath it gives me a little bit more detail, analyzes a whole load of different things, but then what it does, and this is the good thing, is it goes on to the benefits. It maximizes my profits and allows me to share ideas and trading strategies with other traders. So there's a community aspect to this as well. I'm liking it. Good, solid start. Now, bear in mind, I know nothing about market trading whatsoever, all right? But that doesn't necessarily matter as I look for ways that this site can be improved. So what else have we got? Well, we've got a call to action to enter a symbol. Now, I'm presuming that our audience is going to be comfortable with that and they're going to know what that means. So we're talking about entering the symbol for a particular company, like I suspect, here we go. It's allowing us to autocomplete. So I can go with stocks, currencies. So if I type in Apple, yeah, there you go, Apple Inc. Okay, now I've hit return and it's taking me, oh my word. Okay, so it's taking me straight through and giving me a look at the product. And that is both a great thing and a terrible thing at the same time. It's great because they're not hiding their product away. They're giving me insights into it, letting me see it for myself, which I really love. But it's bad in the fact that, whoa, what's this? This is overwhelming. I don't know what to do with all that. I mean, look at these menu bars. I'm being given no kind of guidance or support or help to understand what it is I'm looking at. Now, it might well be that if I was a trader, I would understand this. But you can't guarantee that, and it's a dangerous assumption to make. So, sure, great. Let me try it out. And I love the fact that I can give it a go. I can play with it, etc., etc. But it would be a lot better if there was some kind of wizard or some kind of guide to get more out of it. But for now, let's go back to that home page. Okay. So is that actually the call to action we want there? Or is the call to action, join for free, which is up here? Not a great position to put that, to be honest. The top right-hand corner is fairly dead. People easily miss it. And their eye is going to be drawn immediately to the video and all of the movement that's going on here. So it might be better actually to have something like a try it now, or try a demo and then join for free, 2 buttons side by side, something along those lines, and that the demo then is more of a walkthrough demo or even a video presentation. There might be a video further down the page. I don't know. I haven't looked yet. Let's keep going. Okay. So now we've got some features of it telling us what it does. Oh, and then we've got this join for free. That just needs moving up, I think, above the fold. But yeah, fair enough. It's nice and central. It's in a good position. The features make sense to me, even somebody like myself that isn't a trader. I understand getting better data. I understand having smart tools. That's useful, although I don't understand all of the terms that are being used there. And I understand wanting live, up-to-date information. So that's not too bad. Smart tools is maybe a bit vague. With our paint pen and proprietary, yeah, this is all a little bit vague and a little bit jargony. Obviously, there's some names they've come up with here, and what do those actually mean? So a little bit more explanation would be good there. Then it's just showing me stock prices. Okay, let's keep going. I want to come back to that. Then we've got featured ideas. So this is trading suggestions, maybe, from community members. Okay, featured traders. So that's community members, and then there's news. Okay, so we've got news, we've got a calendar, we've got Market Watch, and then we've got back to our call to action again. Okay. I think that this page really needs to decide what it wants to be. All right. Is this a portal or advice center for traders, or is it a sales tool for SmartTrader? Because at the moment it's this kind of mishmash of both. It's got, you load it up and you get all this kind of marketing material. Then you get some trading suggestions, which is all about advice. And then you get more marketing calls to action at the end, right? So imagine if you're somebody who is looking to buy SmartTrader and you want to know more about buying SmartTrader and you come to this site, then there's all this chunk that isn't relevant to them. All of that is just clutter, right? Or you've got people that are coming to get advice and information about trading, and they're just getting sold to. So neither audience is happy, right? You're designing for everybody and you're appealing to nobody. So I think really, what I would do is I would move off the kind of advice type stuff into maybe your ideas section, or what's under here. Yeah, things like blog. So I'd create an advice area where people would go to it regularly for the latest tips and trading ideas and those kinds of stuff. And I would keep the homepage as being dedicated to promoting and marketing the product. If that is the case, then at the moment it's very light in terms of what the product actually offers. Yes, I know I can go and view a chart, and that's great. I can see it, but again, that's a little bit overwhelming to me. These three aren't really enough in itself, and then the rest is advice. Now, I suspect, let's have a look. I suspect there's more information under features, but if there is, that probably needs floating back up to the homepage. Okay, so really this is almost the homepage, I'm going to guess. Yeah, so again, it's describing what it is. It's almost replicating everything on the homepage. And then lots more detail about the individual features. You see, there you go. This really should be your homepage. And the advice should have its own section and own area. And just separate them out just a little bit. Now, the feeling might be, well, yeah, but if people go to an advice section, then they're not going to be exposed to our marketing messages. And I'm not saying you don't have any marketing messages in the advice section. I'm just saying that you need, the emphasis needs to be much more on the advice there. My comment on this is it looks great. It's well designed, maybe a little bit text heavy. Right, that's quite a lot of text. Even splitting it into paragraphs would help rather than having it as one big paragraph, or even better, breaking it into bullets. Because a lot of this could be broken down into bullets from scanning the text very quickly. I mean, obviously, I'm not reading it properly at the moment. So yeah, that's generally pretty solid. Let's have a look at ideas, because that's a bit of a confusing topic for me. I'm not quite sure what this is. Okay, browse by popular currencies. So I've got to select. Let's go view all. Okay, so these are different trading suggestions, I'm guessing. Let me click on one. Again, loading issues here. Taking a while to load. What if I press play? Okay. I have no idea what I'm looking at here. Now, that might be a limitation in my own knowledge, but I don't think you can presume that your audience is going to have that knowledge. At the very least, it maybe needs to describe a little bit more and have a description with each of these submissions that people have made. I recognize it's community-driven content, and that's fine. But I'm not actually sure what I'm looking at. I mean, we've also got some weird stuff in here, like test data, which is all a little bit vague. So I'm a little bit lost on this. You need to provide people with more guidance about what they're looking at, how it's of value to them, and maybe combine some of the ideas with the stuff that's in your blog. Let's have a look at your blog. Again, we've got loading problems here, performance issues. We're now at the point where, under normal circumstances, I would have given up. So that is going to be an issue you need to pay attention to. I've given up. That's just too long. Okay, so I'm not actually going to get to see that. Right, well, let's go back to the home page. The only thing I do like about this features idea, and in particular the features trader thing, is that it's a little bit of social proof. Do you know what I'm getting at here? That, oh, look, I can see, 88 people have looked at this one, and, obviously there's a lot of traders and a lot of activity going on, and so this must be a popular tool. So I do kind of quite like that aspect, but I'm just not convinced it should necessarily be sitting on the homepage so prominently. Join for free. Well, we all like the word free, but what does that mean? Is it going to cost me? We've got plans. Let's have a look at our plans. Okay, so free means free. So you get a limited version of the product here, which I'm liking. All right, with certain workspaces, certain number of charts. But basically that is demo account connection. I'm guessing means that you can't connect to any real data. So really that isn't of huge use by itself. And then we've got two different other plans. Now that's a little bit sneaky that they're not in progressing the order of value, cost. But I like the fact you've got some, you are suggesting a default. One of the big things that people often don't know how to make a decision about what they need. So actually giving them some guidance, best lifetime value, is no bad thing. I also like the fact that you've got compare plans here. Oh, wonderful. Look at that. So you can compare side by side each of those plans. This is a good example of a well-designed pricing page. I'm liking it a lot. Right. Now, interestingly, this is create an account, and that's join for free. Let's see if it goes to the same place. So let's click create an account. If it's going to load for us. There we go. So that's going to register, something called register. Right. Again, this isn't a bad page. Try the SmartTrader trading platform for free. Great. So I'm getting the free thing that I wanted. And then it's telling me all the things that I get access to. Good positive reinforcement with a nice big tick there. This is nice. No credit card required. The number of applications that make you enter a credit card, which means they're going to automatically start charging you at some point, sucks. So the fact that you're not putting that barrier in the way of people will no doubt help your number of sign-ups. I might question why you need my telephone number. But other than that, that looks pretty rock solid. I'm not going to go through the whole process now. What I am going to do is go back to the plan page and see if we get a slightly different experience if we click on select this plan. No, I'm going back to the same page, right, which is the register page. Now that's slightly confusing because I would expect it's going back to this free option and all of the rest of it and saying no credit card required. But I've actually just said effectively, sorry, I went back to the home page and I didn't mean to, that I want to select that particular plan. So if I've already signed up, I've been playing with the free account and now I want to upgrade, clicking there, it's taking me to register again, right? So you've got to think about the various journeys that people are on and where something might throw them or confuse them. So yeah, that's a bit of a tricky one. I would suggest some work in there. But I've got to say, this is a fairly solid site again. We've got a lovely plan page that I really like. For new users, this registration screen is really strong. No credit card required. It's got all the selling points here. Let's go down a bit further. Share and find trading ideas. Yeah, okay, so that's like the community aspects of it. That's fine. Bit of social proof maybe on that page would be useful. A testimonial, something like that. We're a bit lacking on that front, actually. Yeah, there's no social proofs, no testimonials, no these companies use us. A little bit of that doesn't hurt. You kind of do it a little bit with the trading ideas. But even if you say something like, 300,000 active traders or 24,000 featured ideas or something like that to give a sense of scale, and that this is popular and well known, that'll all help as well. Another thing you've got to be a little bit careful of here is that our join for free call to action is quite a long way down the page, and also these key selling points are quite a way down as well. And you've got this big hero image. Now, I don't really have a massive problem with that. I know a lot of people really don't like hero images, but I don't feel as strongly about that. However, what you might want to do, and people don't think of doing this, you know about responsive design, right? So as you rescale a window, so the content changes and adapts. Well, you can be responsive vertically as well. So essentially on this particular screen we're looking at now, there isn't a huge amount of height, so we have to scroll to get to these items. But on another screen, there might be a lot of height and these items would show. But on a small screen like this one, what you might want to do is set a maximum height on this video, which would push everything up. So the maximum height, say 75%, which would leave room for some of this stuff to move up the page. All right. So when there's a lot of space, we make use of it, vertical space. But when there's less vertical space, we condense everything a little bit. So there's not a lot of people that are doing responsive vertical design, and it's certainly something worth considering. Okay. So I think that's about it for this one. I think that it's a good, strong site. It's got clear pricing policy. It's got clear features. The homepage needs to make up its mind about what it is, whether it's a marketing page or a community page. I would bring all of your advice from your blog and your ideas and all the rest of it together into one central location where you're encouraging people to go again and again. You would, I would also, the notification stuff, that should be happening in the advice part of it, not on the marketing part of it. But most importantly of all, guys, if you could only fix one thing on this website, make it blisteringly fast. You will be amazed at what a difference a high performing site makes for conversion. It is the #1 way, in many ways, of increasing the conversion on your site. So thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.